It must be embarrassing to be a world leader, and then when you come and meet with the occupant of the Oval Office, he says really dumb, stupid stuff. German Chancellor Merz was in there today, and I love how petty he was. He presents Trump a certificate of his grandfather being a German citizen. You knew that was him trying to let his ass know you a tether. You are you are immigrant child. Listen to this, y'all.
This is the birth certificate of Donald Trump's grandfather, born in 1869, close to Bad Dürkheim.
Right?
Yeah.
That's called
and
serious.
his Christian name was Friedrich.
Right? That's serious German.
Serious
right?
German name.
That's serious German. Bad Dürkheim is serious German. But I want to thank you very much for, first of all, I want to thank you for that. That's
My
beautiful.
pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Fantastic. We'll put it up in a place of honor.
Yep.
I don't know, maybe we can, let's see.
You know damn well he ain't like being reminded of your ass, you and your family really ain't from here. But to show you how stupid, how really stupid this man is, and y'all, I don't mean like casual stupid. I mean, Donald Trump really is a stupid individual. He made this crack about D-Day coming up. It's some. Do y'all understand what would happen if Biden or Obama had literally insulted an American ally like this dumbass did? And the German Chancellor had to respond to him in a nice, cordial, but I think I'm sitting across from a dumbass move. Listen to this.
And I'm here, Mr. President, to talk with you later on how we could contribute to that goal. And we all are looking for measures and for instruments to bring this terrible war to an end. And may I remind you that we are having June 6th tomorrow. This is D-Day anniversary, when the Americans once ended a war in Europe. And I think this is in your hand in specific, in ours.
That was not a pleasant day for you?
No, that was not a pleasant...
This was not a great day.
In the long run, Mr. President, this was the liberation of my country from Nazi dictatorship.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
And we know what we owe you. But this is the reason why I'm saying that America is, again, in a very strong position to do something on this war and ending this war. So let's talk about what we can do jointly, and we are ready to do what we can. And you know that we gave support to Ukraine, and that we are looking for more pressure on Russia. The European Union did, and we should talk about that.
We will talk about it, and
Yeah.
you know, it's good.
Nola, you don't sit here and say, what a good day for y'all. That wasn't a good day for you. This man is uncouth, Nola.
Uncouth is a very nice way to word it. I think Chancellor Merz was very composed. He was very European in a way that, you know, he schooled Donald Trump on multiple things. And I just want to point out, Donald Trump mentioned, you know, a very German name like Durkheim. If he knows anything about Emile Durkheim, which I probably doubt he was talking about, just FYI, he was French, but I'm going to go back to Merz and that comment. You know, it just shows that Trump is a very ignorant man. He's very unintelligent. He is not a curious person. He's not interested in learning. You know, probably... I can't say for the first time we have someone in the Oval Office. I mean, there have been some American presidents who just aren't curious. They just sit there and occupy the office. But he tries to come off as intelligent. You know what I mean? It's like the person who tries to seem a certain way, and they try to impress you, and you can see right through it. But enough is enough. I mean, the way that this man continuously embarrasses the entire country in the Oval Office. I literally just read something that said that the United States that our reputation is less favorable in China. The first time in history this has happened. So things like this has real consequences. You know, when you have someone in the Oval Office who doesn't know what they're talking about in terms of international affairs, global history, foreign policy, all of these things have consequences. And that's what I'm really concerned about. As we talked about the travel bans earlier, again, these things have consequences. These countries, and I want to talk about Afghanistan specifically, and then I'm done.
Well,
Um,
actually, hold on one second. I'm gonna come back to that in a moment. But I want to go to Robert here on that particular point. A toddler is literally sitting there. I mean, you don't insult an ally. Man, it wasn't a good day for y'all.
Well, welcome to a segment I call Too Much Information with Robert. This wasn't accidental. He wasn't being dumb. He wasn't being obtuse. The Chancellor made a power play on Trump, and that was his payback. He was being petty as normal. Prince's grandfather, Friedrich Drumpf, was actually born in 1869 in Bavaria. What was going on during this period of time? You were going through German unification with Otto von Bismarck. After 1,000 years of the Holy Roman Empire, and then the Confederation, the North Rhine under Napoleon, you had a system where Germany had ultranationalism that was unifying together, and therefore you had a series of wars that Friedrich Drumpf was born into. When he reached the age of 20 in 1889, he decided he was going to leave and immigrate to America. He was a draft dodger. He was trying to avoid conscription into the Bavarian army to serve the German government at the exact same time that Hitler was being born. This comes into play later. So when we talk about this, Trump's relationship to the Germans, he's not coming from a place of simply not knowing their history. It's about knowing their history all too well. His grandfather was a German ultranationalist. He was born into the same political thinking of Adolf Hitler. He was on the same side of the argument as Hitler at that point, as Hitler was at that point in time. So when you're looking at President Trump's opinion of what he sees as opposition, who now leads the German government, when he says that wasn't a good day for you, he was essentially saying that the wrong guys won the war. We need to realize these things are not happening in a vacuum. We keep saying he's dumb. He's dumb enough to beat the entire Republican Party, dumb enough to become president of the United States, dumb enough to get to be accused of hundreds of years worth of felonies and billions of dollars worth of debt, dumb enough to get himself elected again and take over essentially the world government. Yeah. Maybe he ain't as dumb as you think, and we need to realize that deeper games are being played.
No, he is dumb. He can be dumb. And a lot of Americans can be dumb, and the Republican Party can all be dumb, and then we let the fool in the Oval Office. The issue of Russia and Ukraine did come up here, Nola. And again, this is where the German Chancellor had to educate this fool about this very issue, because, as I played earlier, he's trying to say, hey, we can do more to actually end this war. Listen.
With you later on how we could contribute to that goal. And we all are looking for measures and for instruments to bring this terrible war to an end. And may I remind you that we are having June 6th tomorrow. This is D-Day anniversary, when the Americans once ended a war in Europe. And
so I wanted to play that because we knew what happened when Afghanistan, the war just going on and on and on, finally drawn this thing to a close. The German Chancellor literally sitting here saying, okay, I need you to step the hell up, but you don't want to do that because, frankly, Trump spends more time crapping on Zelensky in Ukraine because he's literally in Putin's pocket.
Yeah, 1,000%. And I just want to, clarify something. I actually don't think Donald Trump is dumb. And I'm using my words very specifically when I said I think he's ignorant and uncurious. I actually don't think it's that deep with him. My entire dissertation is about Trump. I am a Trump watcher. I understand his words. I study them. I understand what he does know, the things that he's interested in, and it's not very much. So if he has a deep understanding of international relations regarding Germany's history like that, I would be absolutely 1,000% surprised. I think the things that he's good at bullying, right? He's good at playing a version of the dozens, but I just don't think that there is a lot of substance there. And to the point of Russia and Ukraine, in a way that Chancellor Merz brought in the fact that, hey, America stepped in, and this is how this day was won, because America stepped in, they stepped up and did what needed to be done. And what I also think that the chancellor is getting at is we just can't sit on the sidelines. Like today, Trump had made a comment about sometimes you just got to let them fight it out, Well, actually, no. In this particular situation, they have been fighting it out for years. And how do I know that? Because I have been talking about it from day one. I don't think that he has any interest, again, going back to his uncurious nature, to the fact that he doesn't even want daily briefings. He just doesn't have the interest to be a president of the United States.
Like I said, that boy dumb. That boy dumb.
I mean,
we already know he can't read.
I just think he's ignorant. I mean,
Okay, fine. You can call it ignorant. You can call it. What's your other one? Uncurious. Well, you could be ignorant, uncurious. That boy dumb. Joe Madison always said you got to put it where the ghost can get it. Make it plain. That boy is dumb. And let's be real clear. Only a white man / orange man in America could get to the point where he is, because you know what? White folks in this country bought his BS. He treated the presidency, he treated the campaign like it was The Apprentice, and these fools actually believe he was a successful businessman. They fell for the okie doke, and now they are and now they are complaining, and they running to people like Congresswoman Robin Kelly. Can y'all help me? And again, they real nice. That's why every time I see one of these folk getting sent back to the country, and they say I supported Trump, I go thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
Every time I see one of these folks who got fired lose their job, but I supported Trump, I go thoughts and prayers. I have absolutely no sympathy for them, because we all told them it was all there, and they still voted for that dumb, uncouth, ignorant, unserious fool. That's who he is.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.